Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of extraordinary individuals, seeking to understand the complexities of human nature and the forces that shape our destinies. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey through the life of Charlie Chaplin, a man whose remarkable talents as an actor, director, and writer continue to captivate audiences around the world. As we step into the world of Charlie Chaplin, we find ourselves in the midst of Victorian England, a time of great social change and cultural upheaval. The year is 1889, and the air is thick with the smells of coal smoke, horse manure, and poverty. It's April 16th, and in a small, humble abode in Walworth, London, Charles Spencer Chaplin is born to Hannah Hall, a singer and actress, and Charles Chaplin Sr., a vocalist and actor. The couple's tumultuous relationship and eventual separation would have a profound impact on young Charlie's life, shaping his experiences and informing his art. As we explore the formative years of this legendary figure, we find ourselves navigating the narrow streets and alleys of London's working-class neighborhoods. The city is a vast, labyrinthine metropolis, with its rich and poor living in close proximity, yet worlds apart. Charlie's childhood is marked by periods of extreme poverty, with his family often relying on the charity of others to survive. His mother's struggles with mental health and her eventual institutionalization would also leave an indelible mark on Charlie's psyche, fostering a deep sense of insecurity and driving his determination to succeed. One of the most significant influences on Charlie's early life was his exposure to the music halls of London. His parents' connections to the entertainment world introduced him to the vibrant and often rough-and-tumble environment of these popular venues. The music halls, with their eclectic mix of comedy, drama, and music, would become a crucible for Charlie's developing talents as a performer. He would often sneak into the galleries of these theaters, watching in awe as performers like Dan Leno and Marie Lloyd captivated audiences with their wit, charm, and talent. As a young boy, Charlie was sent to live with his mother in the workhouse, a bleak institution that provided meager support for the poor. This experience would later inform his portrayal of the Little Tramp character, with its iconic toothbrushed mustache and tattered attire. The workhouse, with its harsh conditions and strict regulations, was a far cry from the glamorous world of entertainment that Charlie would eventually inhabit. Yet, it was here that he developed a keen sense of observation, watching as the poor and vulnerable struggled to survive in a system that seemed designed to crush them. Despite these challenging circumstances, Charlie's natural talents as a performer began to emerge during his childhood. He would often entertain his fellow residents in the workhouse with songs and dances, showcasing a precocious ability to connect with audiences. This early aptitude for performance would serve him well in his future career, as he honed his skills on the stages of London's music halls. We can imagine young Charlie, standing on a chair or table, his eyes shining with excitement as he regales his fellow inmates with tales of adventure and bravery. As we follow Charlie through his early years, we witness the development of a resilient and resourceful individual, driven by a fierce determination to succeed. His experiences in the workhouse, combined with his exposure to the entertainment world, would shape his unique perspective as an artist and inform his later critiques of social inequality. We see glimpses of this emerging consciousness in his early performances, where he would often incorporate elements of social commentary into his acts. The historical context of Charlie's early life is equally fascinating, with the late 19th century marking a period of significant social change in England. The rise of the music halls, with their populist appeal and eclectic programming, reflected a growing demand for entertainment among the working classes. This cultural shift would provide a fertile ground for Charlie's talents to flourish, as he navigated the complexities of his own life and began to forge a path that would lead him to international acclaim. The harsh realities of poverty, the vibrant culture of the music halls, and the struggles of his family all contributed to the development of a remarkable individual, whose unique blend of talent, resilience, and determination would eventually captivate audiences around the globe. We see the outlines of a powerful narrative emerging, one that would take Charlie from the streets of London to the heights of Hollywood and into the hearts of millions. As Charlie Chaplin navigated his early 20s, he found himself increasingly drawn to the world of entertainment, a realm where he could not only showcase his talents, but also escape the hardships of his childhood. The faint glow of gaslights, the smell of grease paint, and the sound of applause all captivated him, offering a sense of belonging and purpose he had never known before. In 1908, at the age of 19, he joined the Fred Carnot comedy troupe, a renowned theatrical company that would provide him with invaluable experience and training as a performer. Under the guidance of Fred Carnot, Charlie honed his skills in physical comedy, developing the distinctive toe-to-heel walk and other mannerisms that would become hallmarks of his on-screen persona. As he traveled with the Carnot troupe to various music halls and theaters across England, Charlie's natural talent and charisma began to shine through. He quickly became a crowd favorite, impressing audiences with his impressive physical agility, expressive facial expressions, and innate sense of timing. The troupe's performances were a lively mix of slapstick humor, witty banter, and clever skits, all of which helped shape Charlie's unique comedic style. During this period, he also began to develop his skills as a writer and director, often contributing to the creation of new sketches and scenes for the troupe. In 1910, while performing in New York City with the Carnot troupe, Charlie caught the attention of Max Sennett, a pioneering film director and producer who would play a significant role in launching his cinematic career. Sennett, impressed by Charlie's unique blend of physical comedy and pathos, offered him a contract with Keystone Studios, marking the beginning of an extraordinary journey that would take Charlie to the pinnacle of success in the film industry. The year was 1910, and the world of cinema was still in its infancy, but Sennett saw something special in Charlie, a spark of genius that could be fanned into a flame. Charlie's early years at Keystone were marked by a prolific output, with the young actor writing, directing, and starring in numerous short films. He worked tirelessly, often for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, to produce a steady stream of comedies that would captivate audiences and establish him as a rising star. One of his most notable works from this period is The Tramp, released on April 11, 1915, which introduced the iconic character that would become synonymous with Charlie's name. The film's success was instantaneous, with audiences captivated by the lovable, downtrodden figure with a heart of gold. Throughout the 1910s, Charlie continued to refine his craft, experimenting with new techniques and pushing the boundaries of comedy on film. His collaborations with other notable figures of the era, such as Mabel Normand and Harold Lloyd, resulted in some of the most beloved and enduring comedies of the silent era. Together, they created a new kind of cinema, one that was fast-paced, physically demanding, and unapologetically funny. In 1918, he co-founded United Artists with D.W. Griffith, Mary Pickford, and Douglas Fairbanks, a bold move that gave him greater creative control over his work and allowed him to produce films that were more personal and innovative. The 1920s saw Charlie reach new heights of success, with films like The Kid, 1921, and The Gold Rush, 1925, cementing his status as a master filmmaker. The latter, released on June 26, 1925, is often cited as one of the greatest films of all time, with its unforgettable scenes, such as Charlie's character boiling and eating a shoe, becoming an indelible part of cinematic history. As he navigated the complexities of his own fame, Charlie remained committed to using his platform to address social issues, incorporating elements of satire and commentary into his work. He was particularly drawn to the plight of the working class, often using his films to highlight the struggles and injustices faced by those living on the margins of society. One notable example of this is City Lights, released on March 1, 1931, a film that showcased Charlie's ability to balance humor with poignant drama. The movie's portrayal of the struggles faced by the urban poor, as well as its critique of the social and economic systems that perpetuated inequality, resonated deeply with audiences during the Great Depression. This willingness to tackle difficult subjects, combined with his unwavering dedication to his art, solidified Charlie's reputation as a master filmmaker and a champion of the underdog. As the years passed, he continued to push the boundaries of cinema, experimenting with new techniques and styles that would influence generations of filmmakers to come. As the 1930s dawned, Charlie found himself at the forefront of a changing cinematic landscape. The advent of sound had revolutionized the industry, and many of his contemporaries were struggling to adapt. But Charlie, ever the innovator, saw this as an opportunity to explore new creative possibilities. He began to incorporate music and dialogue into his films, using the newfound expressiveness of sound to add depth and nuance to his characters. The result was a series of films that were both timeless and timely, speaking to audiences in a way that was both universally relatable and deeply personal. As the 1930s gave way to the 1940s, Charlie Chaplin's career continued to evolve, much like a masterful symphony, with each note and melody meticulously crafted to evoke a specific emotional response from his audience. Films like The Great Dictator, 1940, and Monsieur Verdoux, 1947, showcased his ability to balance comedy with social commentary, a delicate tightrope walk that few could accomplish with such finesse. The former, released on October 15, 1940, was a scathing critique of fascism, with Chaplin playing a dual role as both a Jewish barber and a dictator named Adenoid Hinkle, a character whose absurdity and menace were expertly woven together to create a sense of unease and discomfort in the viewer. This film marked a significant departure from his earlier work, as he began to incorporate more overtly political themes into his storytelling, using satire and irony to skewer the ideologies that threatened the very fabric of society. As he once observed, "To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it," a philosophy that would become a hallmark of his later work, as he delved deeper into the complexities of human nature and the darkness that lurked within. The film's sets, designed by Chaplin himself, were a character in their own right, with their eerie, expressionist landscapes and cramped claustrophobic spaces that seemed to suffocate the characters, mirroring the suffocating grip of totalitarianism. The 1950s saw Chaplin face increasing scrutiny from the House Un-American Activities Committee, HASHWAC, which accused him of being a communist sympathizer, a charge that would haunt him for years to come. Despite this, he continued to produce films that were both critically acclaimed and commercially successful, including Limelight, 1952, and A King in New York, 1957. The former, released on October 23, 1952, was a poignant drama about the decline of a once famous clown, a character whose struggles with addiction and despair were deeply personal for Chaplin, who had himself faced similar demons throughout his life. As he navigated the complexities of his own fame, Chaplin remained committed to using his platform to address social issues, incorporating elements of satire and commentary into his work, often at great personal cost. One notable example of this was his film, A King in New York, which tackled themes of identity, class, and social status with his characteristic wit and nuance. The film's protagonist, a monarch who finds himself exiled in the United States, is a thinly veiled allegory for Chaplin's own experiences as an outsider in America, and the struggles he faced in navigating the treacherous waters of politics and celebrity. As Chaplin navigated these challenges, he remained steadfast in his commitment to his art, saying, "I have made many films, but the ones that I am most proud of are those that have touched the hearts of people around the world," a sentiment that would become a guiding principle for his later work. In the 1960s and 1970s, Chaplin's output slowed somewhat, but he continued to work on various projects, including the score for A Countess from Hong Kong, 1967, and the autobiography My Life in Pictures, 1974. The latter, published on October 15, 1974, offered a unique glimpse into Chaplin's life and career, featuring hundreds of photographs and anecdotes from his time in Hollywood, including stories about his early days as a struggling actor, his rise to fame with the Little Tramp character, and his later years as a respected director and social commentator. As he looked back on his life, Chaplin reflected on the enduring power of his work, saying, "I have made many films, but the ones that I am most proud of are those that have touched the hearts of people around the world," a sentiment that would become a lasting legacy of his remarkable career. Charlie Chaplin passed away on Christmas Day, 1977, at the age of 88, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and influence filmmakers to this day. His funeral was attended by thousands of mourners, including many notable figures from the film industry, who came to pay their respects to a man who had given so much to the world of cinema. As his coffin was carried through the streets of London, it was accompanied by the sound of laughter and applause, a fitting tribute to a life that had brought joy to countless people around the world. Today, Charlie Chaplin is remembered as one of the most important figures in the history of cinema, a true pioneer who helped shape the art form into what it is today. His films continue to be celebrated for their timeless humor, poignant drama, and enduring social commentary, offering a unique window into the human condition that remains just as relevant today as it was when they were first released. In the words of Chaplin himself, "The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said," a phrase that speaks to the subtlety and nuance of human interaction, and the ways in which we can use our words and actions to build bridges between people rather than walls. His films, with their emphasis on the struggles and triumphs of the human spirit, offer a powerful reminder of our shared humanity, and the ways in which we can use our art and our actions to make a positive impact on the world. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.